ask me. Ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them. We'll read them. Then we'll give you answers. You know it. I've got it. I've got the answer. The answer. You ask me. I'll tell you anything. Louder, louder than the lion. Right? It sounds just like Katy Perry.
That is blasting my eardrums out.
Whatever. Emily was like, that doesn't sound like nothing.
That's how I talk.
Louder than the lion.
That's better.
Oh, if I shake it like Carol Channing?
No, I think it's the head move you're doing
Louder.
that no one can see.
Louder than the lion. They can hear it, and now that louder than the lion is going to be stuck in everyone's head all day, even on the toilet. I am the white female Wayne Brady.
Are you going to take off your sweater? That's your new identity.
Yeah, but I'm not letting this sweater out of my sight because I know someone.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm just going to take it off, nosy, because I'm hot in this booth from your breath. She's like hilarious. You guys, we're on our 500th episode, and that's cause for celebration. This episode brought to you by
Emily.
Okay. Oh, that's not a bad improv. Let's get into it.
Okay,
because people have a lot of questions, and you should know that just because you submit a question for one episode doesn't mean we don't save it for another. So today's episode is called the Anonymous episode because so many of these minus one are anonymous.
Yes.
Any moose.
But we owe an answer to Tagrall because in an episode that probably was 40 episodes ago when this comes out, we said we would answer their question.
Only women would feel obligated to a stranger. Like, well, Tagrall.
I want to help Tagrall, who has a longish story that I'm going to compress.
Okay.
Tagrall is training for a half marathon.
Did you already read the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Ohio, and is doing it at a rec center because there's snow there.
You can't run in a half marathon in a rec center.
Well, she's running on the treadmill, she or he, to keep up.
God.
Because
I thought it was
snow.
like around offices.
No.
456 laps around the offices, guys.
Get my water ready. Okay, so it's snow.
It's snow. So there's a row of treadmills in front of me, all empty. The row I'm in, there's two empty next to me on one side and
Hold on,
one
I have
empty.
to write this down. I don't like
doing
these.
a math problem.
This is like when people tell traffic stories. 3 lanes are empty. One's got a blockage. Imagine making it illegal.
Basically, here's the deal.
What is it? 3 treadmills
There's a row of treadmills in front of me, all
in front
empty.
of Tagrall.
The row I'm in, there's 2 empty next to me on one side.
This is like a football play.
And 1 empty on the other side.
Uh-huh.
The row behind, IDK, maybe 1 person was on there.
Okay.
Right? So this is
gotcha.
almost all empty treadmills.
Got your playbook
And
right
this
here.
guy, probably in his early 60s, decides to get on the treadmill right next to me with a dad joke of, do I have to run as fast as you to be on one of these? Obviously, unless I want to be labeled as a snob, I just laugh it off and tell him, no, run, walk as fast as you want.
Okay.
Of course, I have headphones in, and this guy keeps trying to talk to me, and I'm a nice person, so I entertain it for a little. Took my headphones out by that point. He was talking to me about my running as he was not one, and still there just telling me to be careful out there because I was running so fast. He proceeds to try to talk about other topics. Did you just graduate? I'm 23 and I look 18. Finally, I had it.
Rub it in.
I told him, no, I did 2 years ago. So yeah, put my headphones in, finally got back to my run. He was quiet for a little. Then as I'm getting run down and out of breath, I could tell he tried to say something to me again. I just couldn't get the energy to try and respond. I don't have to. I know that. But it's just one of those annoying things as girls that if we don't, we're labeled as rude bitches that should smile more. Has this ever happened to you? Did you ever get to the
whole
point
setup was
of
this?
finally telling someone to F off? P.S. The irony of all is that while this was happening, I was watching Elder Millennial on Netflix.
Is that ironic?
I think this is an interesting question.
Is that the definition of irony?
You were just saying we only answered this because we are women that felt obligated to, but
Yeah. First of all, you're not going to get labeled by a stranger. Like,
but
I
you
think
feel like you will.
Whose
I would
side
feel
are
the
you
same.
on?
I'm saying that
Talking
in that
over me?
position, but I know, but you
Look, okay. You sound like a squeaky couch. I understand obligation and I understand social norms and niceties, saying hi to the person sitting next to you or, smiling or little things like that. Things that men sort of get a pass from, you don't have to notice everything.
That's my big advice, is you don't have to notice everything. You are, and I have started to do this more recently, so I can't say that at 23 I ever thought about this, just ignoring things. Like, it is awkward, but it is totally okay to just not respond to someone. And you've got your headphones in, and you can just ignore it. And it is totally okay to be like, sorry, I'm just focused on my run. And if that guy's like, you're a bitch, he's a fucking psycho. But it's not like he's going to label you to, like, friends and family and coworkers, you know? So it sucks that people can't pick up on social cues. I wouldn't worry. You have to worry less about being labeled that by a stranger. Like, it's not someone that's going to ever affect you. In the immediate future, yes, because it might be a little weird. But I always think of it this way. If this person is willing to be weird enough that they're ignoring all social cues, you can be weird enough and ignore them back. Like, you're on a level playing field of weirdness.
Fair.
That happened to me in my Uber the other day. I left a party. And I got in the Uber. The guy was like, you girls having a fashion party? I was like, yep, love a good fashion party. And then he tried to initiate a conversation. He's like, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to head to Arizona, drive a truck, skip out on this child support. Like, he brought that up, and I just stopped speaking. I just on my phone. Because you could tell that he really wanted a conversation. I don't know if anybody... I know people follow me on Instagram, but that was the night that I told him he could take a phone call, and he proceeded to have an entire conversation with his friend about the courts and child support.
Yeah.
If you're that insane, then who cares? So there's nothing. I just ignored it and I let it lie, and it was weird for 30 seconds, and then it was just quiet. You have to be okay with being just as weird back.
It just is so annoying, though. I just get so mad at the people that will stand right next to me. Or I go to the movies all the time, and it'll be an empty theater, and someone will sit dead next to me.
Is it a middle-aged woman? Because you attract those.
No, it's
Middle-aged women
usually
love
a
Emily.
man. And I'm like, why are you here alone? Get away from me.
You just get it. You have to just realize the power in physically putting your back to someone. They don't exist. There have been times I've been on the street and people have been arguing or something's happening, and I just turn around and I walk away. Situation's gone. Like, you don't have to see everything, get involved in everything, and it's not your problem. If the guy follows you, then you go get a manager. Like, that's fucking weird. But, like, there's nothing, like, you don't owe this person anything. You'll never see them again. So if you can withstand the awkwardness for a couple seconds, it will dissipate and life will go on. There is such a power in just turning your back and walking away. I came out of this building the other day, and there was this woman, this car was parked so close to hers. She was like, look what he did. And I was like, I don't know. And the guy came out. He's like, do you want me to move? She's like, look what he did. Look. And it was just, they were just bumper to bumper. He didn't do anything. And I was staring at her because I was like, oh, does this woman need help? And my dad comes out. He goes, she's just looking for a payout. Let's go. And he was right. Like, as a New Yorker, he assessed in the moment. Like, she was trying to be like, look, you ruined. But he hadn't.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't get involved.
Yeah.
As women, I think we always like, how can we help? How can I involve myself? I want the drama. Don't get involved.
Yeah.
Just walk away. The amount of people I pretend, and I've learned this from shitty men, but pretend not to see or hear on a daily basis just to preserve my own sanity.
Yeah.
Try it. It's amazing. You spend so much less energy smiling. Hi. Oh, God. Hardly working hard. It's exhausting. Who has the fucking time? So that's it. Let them be awkward. If they're willing to be weird, you can pay it right back.
All right.
Strong woman, lying louder. No one likes that. No one likes my singing.
We'll find out when people listen to this. We'll
I'm
ask
moving.
them.
Yeah. Here he goes. You're like a little bird.
It's great for a podcast, but
Lying.
Anonymous. Hey, Eliza and Emily. Asking to be kept anonymous just because I'm a teacher. 2 questions. 1.
Was she the one that yelled the N-word at that store that was on when she was like yelling at that dude? That'd be awesome if that lady wrote in.
No.
Okay, it was like captured on film. Okay.
Hang on.
Not film, but
Teachers are so underappreciated in our society. Can you tell us about your favorite teacher from school? But here's the other thing. 2, I'm a music teacher and I teach a rock pop history class. We often have discussions about the lyrics and the artist's intents. Where do you draw the line of morality for what you listen to? So many of my students listen to rap with questionable lyrics, use of the N-word, degrading women, drugs, violence, etc. Not trying to sound like a prude, but isn't there something wrong with a white 15-year-old kid saying the N-word, or is it okay if it's in a song? Also, does the artist's morality play into it? Asking for someone who still loves Ignition, Remix, but is horrified by the claims against R. Kelly.
yeah.
P.S. I love you both, and I love Emily's laugh.
I've never heard you. That's what it is.
Okay, so
I
this
just-
is a couple things.
I pair that laugh with you slowly closing a door.
When am I? Just downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, you can't say the N-word.
No.
It's not for me to judge. I do think this younger generation that kind of doesn't see color, and it's not the same thing as, like if you're like a 10-year-old kid, you're growing up in kind of a different race relation environment. I do think there's an education to be had there. Like I wouldn't get angry if like a little, an 11-year-old. They're just, that music is so ubiquitous.
Yeah.
So you do need to have that discussion because it is in everything.
Right.
But it's not okay. That's the big takeaway is you can't say the word. I always replace the N-word with doggies or puppies. One more label try to stop me. There's going to be some dreadhead puppies in your lobby. Ruff, ruff.
There
You
we
don't
go.
want no problem like me. Because who cares? No one. You're not in a rap contest. I'm not in a club. You're in your car.
Right. There's no reason you need to say it.
Yeah, and if you do, then it's going to slip out, and then you have like a weird dear white people moment like at the frat party. In terms of morality, I think it's a case-by-case basis. Like, honestly, radio stations decide what they want to play. Rap is degrading to women, and some would argue empowering. So it's just, it's whatever you want to listen to. I don't think we need to teach Yin Yang Twin lyrics to our children. Like, it's garbage,
You know
but it's
that
so
one
fun.
he does with they do with Britney?
Yeah, and also, like, I don't listen to a lot of music for the content of the lyrics. I listen to it for the beat and the hook, and that's the kind of consumer I am. So, not everything you do has to be infused with a moral verisimilitude.
Right. Well, did you have a teacher that you loved in school?
Who cares? The music thing, the music is so personal, and sometimes I have great taste. Sometimes I just want to hear EDM and feel like a hamster running. Sometimes I want to hear like thuggish rap and like whatever. Just try not to say the N-word around people. And in schools, yeah, I do think that there should be some lyrical merit, or mathematic merit to the way something's composed. But, most songs are just there to make money.
It sounds like her class would be a great venue to discuss the substance of lyrics like that, right?
Sure.
Right.
You have to watch out. Sounds like a cool class.
And by the way, there are plenty of lyrics that are like, that's so deep, and like, look at this photograph. But if you actually listen to it, you're like, if that were a poem, you'd be like, I guess it's cool, but then the overplaying of the song makes you hate it. And then you kind of go back 20 years later and you listen to it, you're like, these are good lyrics that were wasted on like a poppy garbage song. So I don't know. Also, sometimes the artist singing it didn't write it and they don't feel it the same way. And it's a song about, like, Pumped Up Kicks is about Columbine. And we're all like, I'm at a barbecue. All the other kids. It's about kids getting shot. And we're like, yeah, pass the bong.
Isn't it crazy, though, that there are like 5 people that are writing all the pop songs?
Yeah. I mean, it just shows that, like, we know what people like.
Yeah.
And then, like, okay, Come Together, for example. Great song. It's got this, like, dirty, kind of rusty, like, come together. It's just describing each of the Beatles.
Written by Sia.
I'm just saying, like, there's what you think it's about, there's what it's actually about.
Yeah.
It's whatever. But in terms of being taught in class, I don't think we have to, like, bring in every piece of garbage pop, hip-hop, rap. Yeah. Most songs are about having sex. Just getting you home. Spread your wings means spread your legs. Show me your love. Like, show me the inside of that sweet, sweet purse.
Oh, boy.
It's true. Favorite teacher? All kinds of cool teachers. I don't know. You always like the teacher that treats you like an adult.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Favorite teacher? I'm 36. I didn't have one like
you don't
inspired.
keep a diary about your favorite
My
teacher?
passion. I had very few teachers I didn't like. People tend to not like teachers. It's like, this person is getting paid $3. They're just trying to cram some information in your head. They're probably dealing with so much.
Yeah.
The teacher doesn't hate you.
Yeah.
Try not being an idiot. Even my hard teachers, I was like this. I had like this one chemistry teacher who would sit with me during lunch to like help me go over stuff, and like I was just never gonna get it, and he was never gonna be like my best friend. But they want you to do well.
Yeah.
They don't. No teacher wants to be like, I only teach idiots. They all get D's.
Are you
I do a bad
Facebook
job.
friends with any of your teachers, or was it before? I'm Facebook
what's-
friends with some of mine.
I think it's interesting is to look back and realize how many of your teachers were gay, and at the time, like, you didn't clock it. Well, I have a nice relationship with my high school, but I don't know. I gave a speech at my college. I like did a Q&A, and the teacher I remember that was there, I took a disaster films class with him, and he like didn't remember it, and I was like, I got a D because I wrote a paper about Anaconda and it was bad. But I didn't like the class. He was cool, but like anyway, That's it.
What was
Some
the
people-
disaster in Anaconda? That an anaconda existed?
Disaster films like Towering Inferno,
Oh.
Poseidon Adventure. you
Yeah,
know?
but those have like tsunamis.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch those movies, and so I wrote a paper about a movie I'd already seen. At the time, everyone had seen Anaconda. It is a disaster film in that the anaconda fucks up shit.
Anaconda's a disaster.
It's a disaster. So I don't know. I think it's boys who write love to be like, I had this one teacher, like Father Stevens, and he was so cool, and it really opened my eyes to Faulkner. I don't know. I liked all my teachers.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's like, I had that one teacher who really was a piece of shit. And it's like, yeah, maybe. My teachers were really loving.
Okay.
My math teacher, Mr. Warner, was incredibly patient and also our lacrosse coach. He was a cool
boy.
dude. I don't know. I didn't want to answer that question.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Be better.
Hi, Eliza. Huge fan. I recently went out with a group of friends. I was interested in one of the guys, and I felt like we had a connection. It was the third time I've hung out with him in a group setting over several months. Halfway through the night, one of the girls who I just met, who was friends with his friends, came up to me and asked if I was interested because she really liked him. Apparently, her friend had been trying to set them up, and that was the first time they were meeting. I was just having casual conversation with him and getting to know him, and she said that she was feeling intimidated because I was asking him all of the questions she wanted to ask him. I could tell she was
All of
feeling
the questions.
insecure.
When you wrote your
It
novel,
took all the good questions. I could tell she was feeling insecure, and I felt bad in that moment. So when she asked if I was interested, I said, I've only hung out with him 2 or 3 times. My friends who were there don't think he's interested in her, but I'm not so sure. Do you think I should pursue him or let things progress naturally? Thanks.
listen to me. You want to get that egg fertilized or not? Dire straits out there. All right? It's a winner-take-all situation. Look, this reminds me of a story. When I was in my
About your
early
teacher?
20s, this girl, who shall remain nameless, we were like had a group of girlfriends, and she was one of the girlfriends, and she liked this guy. And I think I like introduced them or something like that over like AIM. This is how long ago this was. And he and I talked over AIM, and my intention was I was not flirting with him or anything. Like I would be at work and just chit-chatting, and he liked me. And so she got mad because she was like, you stole him, you da-da-da. It is so immature and unevolved. Like, you stole him. And it's like, he liked me. I didn't get in between. He did not like you. And even when he and I dated and lived together, he was like, yeah, I was never going to date her. Just because, and there was always this thing, I had this one girlfriend who like, any guy she ever liked or was obsessed with or had a crush on, like no one could ever talk to them.
Yeah.
Like, I've laid a claim. It's like, you can't go around peeing on everything. Stop texting. I'm trying to talk to you.
Find you an email.
Oh my God. So here's the thing. The fact that it's been 7 months and you've talked to this guy
I think it
3
was
times.
several.
Okay, whatever. Several months.
Several.
And you've hung out 3 times. It doesn't sound like he's interested in you or her.
Well, it's been in a group setting every time. She just needs to make a move.
No, she doesn't. It's you can, but don't you want a guy that's like, I like her, I'm going to ask her out several times over several months? No. And as far as that other girl, guess what? Sometimes people are intimidating. That's such a weak. You're intimidating, and you asked all my questions. Well, get in there. It's a competitive sport. You don't have to be a bitch about it, but like,
What are all the questions? Like, how did she cover
when
all
you
the
discovered
questions?
carbon? What were you? Yeah, like,
Come up with some better questions.
how does your bracket work? That's the other thing. We all fault other people. Then get in there. Exactly. Come up with some better questions. Wear a cuter top.
Yeah, throw
Work
some
hard.
elbows. You're never going to be D1 with that attitude.
Throw them bows. I think he doesn't sound interested in either of you. If you like him, sure, ask him out. But I think it's kind of lame that this guy's like, I'm just hanging out. I don't know. That being said, boys, when they're younger, are sometimes stupid. Maybe the aggressive girl wins. But I would not, if you don't really know this girl, I would not consider her. Because you will not be the first girl where she's like, can you tone your light down? Because I'm mediocre.
Right.
No, let's not. That's not feminism.
I can't imagine watching 2 people have a conversation and then getting in there, going and being like, you are having your conversation too good. Like,
Yeah.
why are you looking at that and going, obviously what this needs is me to go in there with my lack of information.
Yeah, and by the way, like, let's say in a group setting, you're all talking and you spark with him and you're talking to him. This is evolution. This is survival of the fittest. Like, maybe he likes the quiet girl and maybe he doesn't like that you asked all the questions. And he's going to gravitate to who he gravitates to. There's no winning or losing or beating out or it is what it is. There's no stealing. You get the guy that you should be with.
Yeah, he doesn't like both of you equally.
No.
And then just whoever asks the better,
Questions. It's not like you're trying to get into like for a job interview.
Right.
It's not like he's like, any questions for me? It doesn't sound like he's into either of you, but if you're into him, I would not consider this girl. This idea of like girl code. It's like, why? Because one of you isn't fucking? Like,
Yeah,
who
if
cares?
anyone has a claim, it's you. You've seen him longer. This girl just met him.
She just showed up.
But also the friend that's trying to set them up should have gone in and been like, hello, Karen, this is Chad.
Get it done.
Why don't you guys, like, this
Get it
setup, this setup in this group setting with this,
Also, it sounds very young. You sound very, very young. Nobody who wants to be set up, like if he doesn't want to be set up, he's not going to be set up. And if he wants it to happen, it'll happen. But yeah, I guess I'll call her. No, you don't want that guy. You don't want the guy who's like, I don't know, whoever impresses me. It biologically should go the other way. He should be trying to impress you. We've dedicated way too much air to this guy. This guy sounds lame. That other girl's a loser. Move on. Get
don't
rid of
need
the
any
whole
of
friend
them.
group. New identity, new state. Dye your hair. Hide the money in the woods.
Anonymous. I work in retail and I am one of the few who enjoy it. I have my bachelor's in marketing and started working in a store in college and never left. Here I am over 10 years later, still enjoying it. I work in women's fashion, but on the higher end side. However, I live about an hour away from work, but trying to find something closer to home, I have two choices to make. Either stay in retail and take a huge pay cut because there is no high-end retail where I live, or go into a marketing office setting, entry level, also a huge pay cut. The best offer I've been made was a $15,000 pay cut. Sometimes I wonder if I should go back to school and either get my MBA or something to help me stay in my pay range. I make more money than my husband, who is a teacher. Side note, please let's pay teachers more. And he is supportive of whatever I do, but the finances fall on me, and going back to school doesn't feel fiscally responsible. Thoughts?
Why can't you just move closer to your job?
I mean, that
Can't you
would
just move
be
30 minutes north. I don't know. Can I be honest? I don't have enough information here. Like, I don't know how much you make. I don't know.
Well-
sounds like you work at like Prada, maybe at the mall or something. I always believe in investing in your future. It doesn't sound like you're super passionate about going back to school, but it does seem like your options thus far are limited and
Right.
limiting. So if you want to plan for a better future, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit for now. Like, I remember in my 20s being exhausted and just spread so thin and just working. And I remember thinking, I'm willing to make this investment now so that I can relax a little bit in my 30s. You know, and I made that investment and I did that work. You're going to have to do the work at some point unless you want to just fold cashmere sweaters the rest of your life.
Well, it sounds like whoever it is likes the folding of sweaters, but I think it does need to be mentioned that if you go into the marketing office setting job, entry-level job, huge pay cut, but that's a job that has room for growth.
Upward mobility.
Right.
It might, and maybe there's some negotiation there because, you know, I honestly think you have to sit down and say, where do I see myself in 5 years? And then work that backward. Does it require school? Do you want to be the head of the office? Do you want to be the CEO? Do you want to be district manager? You know, ask yourself what you want to be and what the best way to get there is.
Right.
That's it.
And if
I
you
can't
have
tell you to
be,
go to school.
If you have to be at this, you love this store, this high-end retail store, but then, yeah, look at maybe moving.
Yeah. Or maybe go to that company and be like, I love working with you. Can I be a district manager? You know, ask yourself what your goals are, where you see yourself in 5 years. But don't not go to school simply because it would be difficult now, because you will reap the rewards in the end. It's an investment. That's what an investment is. Taking a step back in the moment so you can take several steps forward in the future.
Right, but there is the problem now of college degrees and stuff. It's getting less and less valuable in terms
Well,
of
also like define degree. Is this like a
doesn't-
2-year degree? Like what kind of degree are you needing?
it doesn't guarantee you a job in the way that it would have 30
No, but it does
years
guarantee
ago.
you an office job. Like you cannot, no one's going to look at your resume for a real
Right.
job if you didn't go to college.
But even if you go get the MBA, it's like you might be starting entry
I don't
level
think
somewhere.
she's talking about an MBA.
That's yeah.
Did she say that? I don't think so. I don't think if you have an MBA, you start at entry level. I don't think it works
No,
that way.
she's saying she would get. Should I go back to school and get my MBA?
Oh, yeah, probably. But I also don't know what you want to do.
Right. Well,
Also, don't be the person that just gets the degree just to get it.
right. Exactly. The degree
Maybe-
doesn't guarantee a job.
No, but it guarantees starting at a higher pay grade. But it doesn't sound like you're that motivated by money. Maybe you need to like find yourself. Maybe you need to sit down with a vision board and really find yourself.
It's hard because she's the breadwinner. Because the husband's a teacher.
Yeah, but in 5 years, won't you wish you'd have done it? Like right now, don't you wish 5 years ago you had already finished school? So just imagine 5 years comes and goes very quickly. So if you need to make that investment, make it.
Well, and there's the option of night courses, like doing a job during the day. Maybe you take one of the lower paid jobs near you, then you have more time because you're not doing the 2-hour commute every day.
Maybe
you
there's
can
that.
do night classes.
Yeah, you can get an online MBA, which is totally respected.
There are night classes that are from legitimate universities.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Because an MBA, I don't know. I mean, that's it. You got to figure out what you want to do or commit a crime. If you can get a really good crime committed, there's no victim. It's victimless crime.
What's a really good crime?
Like stealing a lot of money on the internet
Oh.
from an offshore bank account that shouldn't exist.
Okay.
All right, next question.
Anonymous.
But that's it. This sounds like a very personal journey. I would get some good drugs, go to the desert.
No.
Listen to me, get some good drugs. Let's go to commercial.
Iliza, I am so confused and don't know what to do. 9 months ago, one of my bridesmaids backed out of my wedding.
Woo!
Oh, she did it with plenty of time, so it's okay. We've been friends for over 10 years. Shortly after she backed out, my sister told me that the friend was concerned and angry that I had started doing lingerie modeling. I have not heard from her since.
Wait.
Is it worth trying to reconcile our relationship, or is she not worth it? And how do I get the bridesmaid stuff back that I gave her?
What did you give her?
It's the number one question. I see on Instagram sometimes people give like their bridesmaids like this gift box. Like
I gave a gift box.
but asking them to be the bride.
That's what
like
I
you
did.
open the mail. But
Huge
they already
mistake.
knew. They open the box and it's like, will you be my bridesmaid?
Right.
Here's a picture of us done in diamonds. So
You're not getting it back, first of all.
yeah, that's not
That's a gift.
It depends. Yeah. What are you talking about? Did you buy her a dress
Did you get
already?
married already? Did she already get married?
I don't know.
Can I just be honest? Whatever. This person doesn't want to be your friend. That's
But
it.
This
We're
is
done.
such a weird.
Next question. That's it. I wish I could have gotten rid of some of my bridesmaids.
You don't want to
What a mistake.
address. You don't want to address it with this person and be like, "Are we not friends because you don't like my lingerie modeling?"
You might want to do it just to put it on the table, just to get her to own up to what a snobby brat she's
yeah,
being.
so you just know. Like,
But
is that
also-
really the reason?
Can I be honest?
What?
Like, you're not lingerie modeling. Like that's some old dude in his studio taking pictures, getting like a half chub. Unless you're a model, like where are these pictures going? It sounds a little. I have to be honest. Like lingerie modeling to what end? Now, if you really do it because you really love your, I don't know. It's like whenever I see women that are like, I'm a model, but like they're not particularly tall. It's like, what are we doing here?
You got to be like 5'7",
At least
5'9". What do you? They lowered the height on America's Next Top Model. Now it's 5'7". I think it
because
used
they'd
to be
already
something
found
higher.
every tall girl and shaved her head for the competition.
Yes.
I think if it's worth it to you because it seems to bother you, you are owed a real answer from her. But this is a girl you asked her to, this is an honor to be asked that, and she backed out. It sounds like she's just not that high on you. I cannot talk while you're looking at your phone.
I was trying to find this person so I could see.
No, I'm not
if
gonna
they
tell
had
her. I'm not
pictures
gonna-
of themselves.
Stop. I'm not
there.
going to look at her and be like, you're not hot enough. I'm just saying, like, there's modeling and there's modeling.
Right. I'm
It
not
is
talking about whether she's hot.
No, but it is like seedier on a certain end when it's
Right.
like, what are you modeling for?
But maybe it's like Third Love just did this campaign with like 100 different, like a bunch of different body types.
That's not lingerie modeling. That's
but
not
it's
lingerie.
in underwear.
But that's not lingerie. Lingerie is like sensual. Like this
well,
workhorse bra that
maybe
I'm
this
wearing
is-
is not lingerie.
Maybe this is where the confusion is. Maybe this
No,
girl said
stop.
on her page,
Stop. You're
I
just-
do lingerie modeling. And her friend's like, that sounds sketchy.
That's definitely not what's
But
happening.
really, she's modeling Third Love.
Okay, did you get out your premise? Because that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. She's not modeling Third Love. She's regardless of that, if this is your friend, she should be supporting you.
Yeah.
Perhaps that behavior goes with other behavior she doesn't like. I think you owe it to yourself to ask her to like put it all out on the table. But then you have to be okay with letting go of this friend who clearly doesn't want to be a part of your life. That's what this
Right.
comes down to. She didn't want to be your bridesmaid. She didn't want to be involved.
But it sounds like this whole thing was kicked off because of the lingerie modeling.
Maybe that's just in your head and she just doesn't. As we get older, people, and also like maybe that friend isn't married. Sometimes there's this weird thing when you get married and your unmarried friends kind of splinter off. Since you wrote in about it, you should ask her, be like, I just want to have a come to Jesus. I just want to know.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with letting that friend go. Mm-hmm. Scott's like loading a gun in the other room. That's it.
I'm not.
Anonymous. Hi, Eliza. I saw you in OKC last month, and it was honestly one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. I'd like your opinion
Thank
on
you.
what I should do in my situation. I started going out with this girl a few months ago. We hit it off really amazing, despite the fact that she had very recently broke up with her boyfriend. It appeared to me that things were going
He's
great.
a boy.
I don't know. It appeared to me that things were going great, and within a few weeks, she started referring to me as her boyfriend. Yes.
No, don't assume gender.
He's
Could
a
be a
boyfriend.
girl that identifies as a boy, or the girl's name is boy.
No.
You don't know.
And I started referring to her as my girlfriend. We both enjoyed the same things, and she often invited me to stay the night at her place. A couple more weeks go by, and she stops talking to me cold turkey. I became a bit worried, so I asked if everything was all right, but gave her space just in case she had gotten caught up preparing to start medical school. When she finally did get back to me, she told me that she's just trying to let people go, but gave me no real understanding of why. What do you think I should do?
That's weird.
It sounds like she's joining a cult. And
sounds
this
like
is
she's-
her last.
Back with her old boyfriend.
She's just trying to let people go is so weird, though.
It's a
I
very
don't like that.
vague, immature, like, I'm just kind of taking me time. I don't know. It sounds to me, can I read the beginning of that again?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like something I would do. Saw you in Oklahoma City last month. Honestly, one of the greatest performances. Oh, okay, not that part. I started going out with a girl a few months ago. We hit it off really amazing, despite the fact that she had a very recent breakup. Yeah, very recent breakup with her boyfriend. She jumped on you, literally and metaphorically, because she just went through a breakup. And it was super hot. I've done that where you find someone, you're like, this is great, let's do it. Burn bright, burn out fast. That's what happened. She's either back with her boyfriend or discovered she wasn't that into you. And that's it. And if she's willing to give you that vague of an answer, it's one of those two things. Right, Scott?
Yeah, I think you just got added to the roster. She's
Yeah.
like, I need to slow it down. What am I doing here? I need to
It
take
was
care of
selfish.
myself.
It was selfish that she dated you for that long, although you could be lying and it could have been just like a week, or you maybe never even met her. I just watched you on Netflix. It's so great. Because I lived part of that, so I totally get it. But I would just move on. It sucks because it rips your heart open. You're like, I thought we were dating. It sounds like she went from 0 to 100 real quick because she had just got out of a relationship. So in a couple months, I bet you could ask her again and she'd be like, yeah, it wasn't right, da-da-da. But this girl does not seem like she's going to give you the answer you want. She's not into you. You got to move on.
All right.
That's it, right?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's just,
You're like,
I
"Don't
would
scold me."
love if it's the 1% chance that she truly has joined a cult and is like, I must cut off all contact because we're
it's not
going
Send her
out.
an edible arrangement and ask if she joined a cult.
Oh, don't
Yes
we have
or
an
no?
edible arrangement coming
Yeah.
to the house? Here's why that's not helpful and dumb. Here's why your answer. Because if you're joining a cult, you're not going to medical school. Like cults are very specific about, and like
I'm
really
saying maybe-
constricting religions are very specific about medical intervention.
He says he thought maybe she wasn't replying because she was caught up getting ready for medical
That's what I'm
school.
saying.
Maybe she went off the deep end, isn't getting ready for medical school, and joined a cult.
Well, then either way, goodbye.
Yeah.
But we're trying to help real people.
Yeah.
You don't want to date a doctor or a cultist.
You don't want to date a doctor unless you get free drugs. That's it. She's not in a cult, but she does sound like a little scattered. So that's it. Move on. She's not into you. You weren't hot enough. I'm sorry. Next question.
Oh, God.
These are the things. No, I don't know. I don't know what you look like. She sounds like a selfish bitch. Female comic labels other woman something that she actually is. She's just not into you. Next question.
What is with women loving to click pictures in ladies' room and telling other girls they are effing beautiful when they are drunk? I have done both. I'm just trying to understand why it feels so good.
Because
Do you do this?
a women's restroom, I picked that question, is a sacred space and you're vulnerable but safe. Because it's a place where we all go to feel better, to look better, and you're communing with other women in a very vulnerable way. You're watching them put on their makeup, and you have a chance to stare at other women in a mirror, and it's not weird because it's like okay to comment on each other's bodies. Alcohol makes us all feel warm and fuzzy. So it feels nice, despite the fact that we're all armed to be mean to each other. It feels nice to pay another woman a compliment. It does. It feels good. And then she gives you one. And then you weigh the two compliments against each other. You're like, who had the better compliment? It feels nice to commune with women and to be nice to other women. And it just feels nice to give people compliments because it's nice to exchange serotonin. It's a serotonin swap.
Okay.
What?
I don't
'cause
like
you don't use
strangers
the bathroom?
talking to me in the bathroom.
please, if you're at a bar and some girl was like, I can't imagine she would say this, but I like your top.
So rude.
Oh, Emily's little face. She was like, I dressed up for work.
I drove to Target yesterday early so I could get a Cruel Intentions t-shirt.
Okay. So some girl is like, I like your t-shirt. Doesn't that make you feel good?
I know,
said I
because
liked your
don't
top
trust
today,
it. I know,
didn't I?
but I know. If
And
I'm
how
in
did
a
that make you
bathroom,
feel?
It was good. If I'm in a bathroom,
No.
with someone, I don't trust a drunk person talking to me. I assume they're making
That's
it
because
up.
you're never drunk. Oh, by the way, this only works if both parties are drunk. Otherwise, it's like, get out of my face.
Right.
I'm at a breakfast.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. It's a safe space. A women's restroom is a holy place. Men are afraid of being turned gay. So they want to get out of the, I want some dude looking at my dick. I don't want some dude listening to me take a dump. You take a dump in public? Nah, man, that's sacred dump time. Girls, we go. There's more to be done there. There's eye contact. Women are more sensual. We want to fix our makeup. Can you help me with my bra strap? Your guard comes down.
What is happening in this bathroom?
Have you never been in a women's bathroom at a bar?
I have, but you're just like, you're going from dumps to sensual bra straps. I don't
Women-
like it.
Yeah, women are not afraid of homosexuality, so we're not afraid that another girl's gonna think we're cute. We're not afraid of getting like butt raped, which is straight men that don't like homosexuals. They think that every gay guy is trying to fuck them. Women, we don't think like that about other women. And then part of you's like, maybe she is. Oh, maybe I flirted a little. Just a picture. Plus, there's great lighting. There's mirrors. There's other girls there there's something that gets stripped away when we're away from the competition of the bar and men and the noise and you're there. It's a very vulnerable, honest place. That's the answer. So that's why. I do like your shirt. But in general, no one's going to be like, oh, is that like a third
People
edition
love my
speed
t-shirts.
commemorative? Yeah.
I have fun t-shirts.
I told Emily that she needs to get a shirt that just says offer only.
I throw it to a friend every now and again when I'm at a urinal. I'll just be like, killer dick, bro. You
That's awesome.
gotta be just the right level of drunk, but it usually garners a good response.
He's like,
People
it's
are
loaded with AIDS. It is a killer dick. Loaded.
Never got that one. But.
How do you feel though? I get very upset. I know people where if I go out with them and then we go in the bathroom, they'll talk to me from their stall.
Doesn't bother me.
I don't like that.
Not when she's like grunting one out, like when Elaine Boozer was here and I had all that Kashi Going crunch and I had to like let her rip.
Wait for her to go to the bathroom
Like,
and then go.
Cape Canaveral style. Because I didn't, like, that's, but like, not while you're pooping, but like a pee.
I don't want, no, we don't need to talk in there. When you walk in, it should be, there's like other people in there. You don't need to be 5 stalls down. Like, anyway, I went to the store the other day.
Okay, can I say something that might hurt your feelings?
What?
If you had girlfriends that you actually liked, then you'd want to talk to them
I
in
have
the
ones
bathroom.
I like, and I still don't want to be talked to in the bathroom.
Okay, so we're in the middle of a conversation and we go into the bathroom and we're talking, and it's just like, yeah, and then I...
Yes.
No, we know you're
No.
peeing.
No.
Everyone's talking to cover up the farts.
I mean, that was the sound effect that I made when I slipped. This is a detailed story.
No, I just mean, number one, I don't like to go to the bathroom at the same time as other people for this
It's
exact
part of the
reason.
female experience.
I don't like it.
Okay, you don't have
I'm
to.
a very nervous peer.
Okay, so that's what it comes down to.
I'm an anxious.
You're stage fright. You're
Yes.
scared. Okay.
Yes. So then I'm in there just sitting. Someone's babbling away, peeing their heart out.
Why not live authentically? We both know that pee's coming out of your butt. That's how you pee, right? Out of your butt. It's very weird to like come out of the stall and be like, okay, for those 15, 20 seconds, we didn't speak. Like, we know what happened. What? That's it. Peeing is fine. And then you see her at the sink, like, oh, surprise, even though we came in here together.
I have to wait for everyone to leave.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What? You're taking a Jurassic dump and
Yeah.
you need toilet. Oh, fine, you're peeing because we wipe. You need toilet paper and there isn't any, but the lady next to you has some. But you must answer these 3 questions.
I'm going to wait for her to leave and I'm going to snake my little arm under there.
No, you can't. It's too high up. So what do? Think about it. You've got all this cereal pee coming out of you because you got all this like Mountain
Do you
Dew.
crawl under the divider, go over the top of it, or
Grappling
like
hook.
Navy SEAL style so nobody sees you come out the front, or do you go door to door?
Answer me honestly. Some girl's sitting next to you and it's a friend. You would not be like, can you hand me some tea?
Yeah, okay, in an emergency situation.
Yeah.
But I don't like being placed in this situation.
It's not. No one does. I think it's a
Sounds
very.
like you do. You're like, I love going in there and chatting it up.
I love chatting it up. Sometimes I wait in there in case if I'm lonely. I wait for someone. Sometimes I'll hand them a towel. I'll give them a mint. I'll ask for $1. I think it's an incredibly human moment to be like, hey, can you like help me out and hand me, or to like ask for a tampon or something. It just is a great reminder like, hey, we're human. We're all women. We're all trying.
Well, you know the Benjamin Franklin thing, that he had this theory, and it was basically
Let's hear this.
that if you ask someone to do a favor for you and then you like repay it, they'll like you more. If you ask them to do something for you, they will like you more. Like he had an enemy or something, and he asked him like, hey man, could you do this thing? And then the guy said only nice things about him.
Okay, because they're seeing you as human. You humanize your enemy.
Right.
However, repaying it, it's like, okay, you hand me toilet paper. How do I repay you? I bow to you when they come out of the stall.
Not in that instance, but
yeah,
it is good for your relationship to need a
or it's like a
favor.
neighbor that's annoying, and then you meet like you're not annoyed when your friends play music loud. You're annoyed when a neighbor who you don't have context for, but then you meet them, you're like, oh, that's just Steve.
I have context for my neighbors and I hate them.
Okay, but you hate most people. I'm just saying, it's fascinating when you humanize someone, how you hate them less.
Yeah.
Like, think of all the actresses or comics, you're like, I'm like, that person sucks. And I meet them, I'm like, they were so nice.
Yeah.
And it all melts away because it's all in your head. And then you meet them, or you're like, that person was the worst.
Yeah.
Like, Whoopi Goldberg was not cool to me on The View.
I watched Theodore Rex the other day.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, she tried so hard to get out of that movie. It's a buddy cop movie with her and a dinosaur, and she wanted out so badly, and she was so furious that contractually she had to make it.
So she doesn't have to speak to that dinosaur. Next question.
Next question.
Next question.
Hi, Liza. I love your podcast so much, especially the theme. I may or may not sing it often. Anyway, I have a question for you to please answer on your podcast. I was watching this Flat Earth documentary on Netflix. It's called Behind the Curve.
Yep.
I'm not asking you to watch it, haha, but I'd like to hear your take on flat earth theories. By the way, I am not a flat earther, but I find the theories by the people on the documentary to be surprisingly prolific. What is that? Are these people mentally ill, etc.? I don't know. Anywhere, there you go. That's it. Thank you for this podcast.
Don't care. If you think the earth is flat, you are not a bright person. I am not interested. I'm not signing up for the rest of it. If I already knew you and you said that, I would probably distance myself from you. Because there's no way, and I've said this before, that notion doesn't seep into other areas of your brain and doesn't seep into other areas of your life. There's no way like, I'm a flat earther, but a Nobel laureate, a brilliant mathematician, and I totally understand vaccines. No. I don't care. That's like if you met someone who was like, I just don't believe black people are equal to white people. You'd be like, and we're done with this conversation. I'm not sticking around.
Yeah, I
for
wouldn't trust your cereal
recipe.
suggestions or
Yeah.
anything after that.
There are certain things that we have to mutually agree upon as coexisting humans. And when you can't agree on those things, it's like, well, the rest of this is null and void.
What's really interesting, though, about the flat earthers is that they're constantly raising money to fund various experiments to prove that the earth is flat. And every time it proves the earth is round and they go, no. Like they are constantly like doing these proof videos, and they're raising like GoFundMes, and
Which
every
physics
time,
could disprove, like very simply.
So every time they do their experiments, they're proved wrong, and then they go, "Oh, we got to do a different experiment."
It's like a cult that's like the end is coming, and then it doesn't come that day, and they're like, "Well, it was another
That's what
day."
happened with the whoever the people were that wanted on the Haley Bob.
Yep,
I think
that's exactly what I was referencing.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yep, that is cognitive dissonance at its finest. So, I don't care about the people. Like, I'd watch the documentary, but like, I'm not giving credence to any part of their lives otherwise. It's like if you're in a cult, nobody's a good dude. Okay, cool. You can open a door for me,
Right.
but I'm not interested in hearing. You've already failed at being a basic human, so you're an idiot. I'm sorry that you don't want to hear logic.
It's crazy how these conspiracies take root. Like the Avril Lavigne one, the guy who made it up said, I made it up to see what would happen, that Avril Lavigne died and was replaced by a body double.
Okay, here's another thing, but also, like, fuck you, dude. Like, cool contribution.
Right.
You use somebody else's life and hard work. So I just wanted to see.
Yeah.
It's such a dude thing. Like, I just wanted to see what would happen if I fucked with someone and other people.
Yeah.
How about we put our energy and money toward, like, solutions for the plastic problem, Whereas like, I just want to see about this
But
random
now
thing.
he comes out and he's like, oh, no, I made that up. Like, I'm the one that originated that. And everybody's
Cool.
like, well, we found this YouTube video where you can see one hair coming out of her head that looks different than her usual
Yeah,
hairs.
you can what's that what's it called? I don't mean to put you on the spot, Scott. It's called like the rule of 53 or something. It's like if you can think of it, there's a porn about it.
43?
She's like, whoa.
I've never heard of that. but
42
Yeah.
or
I'm
40,
intrigued.
And
Go
I'm
on.
sure
42 or 43.
Fine, and I'm sure it applies to regular
32.
things. Okay. If you can think of it, then I'm sure somebody out there believes it. Think of all the religions we have. All of the beliefs. Like if you can think of something weird, there is someone out there that believes it. But to spend your energy, it's one thing if you're a zealot and you believe it, but to spend your energy spreading something that you don't believe, just to like you're bullshit. Cool, you prove that people are dumb. We already knew that.
At the expense of a nice young Canadian woman like that, too.
Pretty
Awful.
talented Canadian woman with great hair. Next question. Just drawing cubes.
Okay. Eliza, I'm writing to you in hopes to hear the perspective of a career woman I respect and admire.
I'll go get one.
I'm a 22-year-old college student and about to graduate. I've been dating my boyfriend for about 2 years now, living 2 hours apart while I finish school, and our relationship is progressing to the point that marriage seems imminent. We have discussed within the next 3 to 4 years. He's kind, patient, funny, and I couldn't be happier imagining a future with him. That being said, I'm torn about whether or not I should break up with him so we can both pursue our careers without resenting one another down the line. He wants to be a doctor and will go to medical school in Texas this fall, and I want to live in South America for a few years and study international business. I know I want to spend the rest of my life with him, but I never imagined I would be in this position this young before I've even figured out my career trajectory. What should I do?
I vote go. Mm-hmm. You don't want. Your thing is you want to break up so you could sleep with other people and like fuck around and until you come together. I appreciate that you think this is the person for you, and he might be, but there have been times where I'm like, this is the guy for me, and it wasn't. You will do so much growing, especially if you go to another country, and your values will change, and break up. You love this person, but personal growth is so important so that you don't resent that person for having stayed with them, or you didn't get your chance, or he goes to medical school and you follow him.
Right.
Go do what you need to do to become the person you want to become. And if it's meant to be, you can come back together. But wouldn't it be a shame if like you had a crystal ball and you found out like this isn't the guy for you, and you met someone while you were in South America and they had access to all the fruit? I'm just saying it's a little myopic. You sound like a smart girl, and I understand you love this person, and it's going to hurt so bad. But for your own growth and for your life, you need to take these steps alone.
I ate a guacamole with a fruit in it yesterday.
See, it's like I'm the only one with the lights on. The fruit in it? What was in it? A tomato?
No, they put pomegranate seeds on it.
That's tasty. That's fine.
It's not right.
It's a little festivo.
That is gilding the lily.
Yeah.
Take it easy,
And
everybody.
2 radish slices.
The radish is so stupid.
Nobody's going to eat that.
Nobody.
But this person already has it figured out. I mean, she says, like, we should probably break up so we don't resent each other.
Yeah, that's what you should do. And it doesn't, and you can still talk, you can still email, you can still visit each other, you can still sleep with each other, but one of you is going to meet someone else at some point, and that'll be that. I would also just, keep them at arm's length. So that's my answer.
Okay.
You got to do what you got to do to become the person you are destined to become.
Hi, I'm obsessed with the podcast. I wanted to ask Eliza, what led you to become a feminist or at least a strong supporter of women's empowerment?
Listen to me. My whole life, I've been doing feminist shit without ever using the word. It just wasn't a conversation when I was younger. And I only started using the label the last couple years because I was like, oh, that is the diagnosis for this disease. I'm just kidding. But that is the diagnosis for the way I'm thinking. I don't subscribe to this idea of top of the patriarchy. There's so many shades of feminist. Your mother, who worked hard and raised you, is a feminist. There's so many forms of it. And any woman that really tries to define it beyond anything other than it's the idea that men and women should be equal, is putting it in a box. So I was always standing up for myself. I never questioned for a second that any guy was funnier than me or smarter or I didn't deserve to talk. Whether I was raised that way, I was just sort of imbued with this sense. So I stuck a label on it just to make it more palatable to people and digestible. But however that definition changes, like I'm still me. And I am the kind of woman who I've always competed with men. I've always I've never seen myself as less than. I've always been frustrated by guys who take up too much energy or feel entitled to something when I always felt I was just as good as them and oftentimes had to prove myself in that arena. It's only recently that it's become about women competing with women. I was like, I've been competing with dudes this whole time. So real feminists, I believe, just kind of put their heads down and work. I like you if you're funny, if you're good, if you're smart. The gender is irrelevant. Very few people can claim that, though. That's it. I was already doing this shit. It's already looking cool, kicking ass, and taking names.
All right. Daily mantras and goals change for everyone every day. Do yours change based on the road versus being home? I live every day with the goal of being the lesser of two assholes. I don't care who the other one is. I just don't want to be the biggest one.
That's setting the bar pretty low. Like, this guy killed 3 people. I just got to be a little bit better than him.
You just killed 2.
I don't know. I don't have a daily mantra, but I am always trying to better myself. I'm always trying to slow down. Like, it's a lifelong note. I'm always trying to like take a breath. Or like not judge or not say something right then, just like let a situation crystallize. I saw this meme the other day. It was just a quote. It was just like, you're under no obligation today to be the person you were yesterday. And I think that's so interesting because it's like people have these expectations of you and everything, and it's like nobody actually thinks about you that much. And it is on you every day to just try to be a little bit better than you were yesterday and try to handle things better. This is like random, but there was this like group of girls that were really shitty to me, and I really didn't do anything. And I think one of them knew that like they were kind of mean to me for no reason. This was like a couple years ago. And I was out the other night and I saw one of them, and it just felt so good because I'd spent time thinking about like, what would I ever say, or should I ever say anything? And she was totally, it was incongruous with this person's life. She was in a random place that I happened to be.
Yeah.
And we saw each other walking by, and I clocked her. And she was like, hey, like as if she went, and I just went, oh, hey. And I just kept walking as if like I would to just a random acquaintance. And you could tell, she was like, oh. And it felt so good. I'm like, because I had thought, I'm like, I iced you out in that moment. And I genuinely,
plan.
I gave her no energy and no thought, and it felt great. It wasn't like I deliberately tried to be a bitch and I felt bad.
Right.
I was just like, you were so rude to me for no reason, and we're on my turf now. Hi. And I just kept walking, and it felt great. And that's being authentic. And then there was that time in traffic where I yelled at a girl the other day, and that felt amazing to just fucking
when you
unload on a stranger.
screamed near your husband's ear.
Oh my God, it felt good. I get now why bullies are bullies. It feels so good. She was ruining traffic. She was a danger, and she was on her phone at the stop sign while driving, just head down. And I just yelled, get off your phone, like loud. And it like jolted her into looking at the fucking road. It felt great.
Society thanks you.
Victimless crime. If anything, she'll be better. I'm sorry that I yelled in my husband's ear, but he needs to get over it. I'm saying that now, like not to his face. Like I would never say that. Smokey Husky.
Hi, Liza.
Dog ear.
Love your podcast. I was hoping to ask an anonymous question. I recently found out through some tipsy conversation that my fiance's ex was very well endowed, and I got the vibe she didn't hate it, which obviously sparked strong...
Wait, my fiance's ex was well endowed?
Yes. So this guy's wife's ex...
Wait.
I mean, this guy's fiance. This guy is with this girl,
Yeah.
and the girl's ex-boyfriend.
Uh-huh. Wait, start over? What?
So there's a guy.
Where is he?
He's marrying a girl.
Who's writing to me?
The guy.
Oh, the guy says the girl's ex is well endowed.
Yes.
Got it. Sorry. I always assume it's a girl writing.
Have you ever felt insecure comparing yourself
assume
to
gender.
others?
Don't
And if
assume
so, how did you overcome those feelings? So he's feeling insecure about this new information he has.
Look. Here's the only thing you have to focus on. She's with you, not him. That's it. That's it. There's a reason. There will always be a dick bigger. There will always be a hotter dude. There will always be a better looking dude, a funnier dude. Same goes for you girls. There will always be a girl with like bigger boobs, better body. Female comic cites breasts as a positive. But that person's with you, and insecurity is the even less attractive than a small dick. Insecurity is the least attractive thing ever.
Yeah.
Ever. It's so gross. It is repellent. Sex repellent. She's probably been with a couple dudes. I don't know if you have a small penis or an average penis.
Yeah.
But yes, is a big dick great? Yes. Is a big dick that's too big not great? Sure. You know what kind of biscuit she's working with?
Oh.
I'm just saying, like, it's neither here nor there because she's with you.
Right.
You can have a big penis and be bad in bed. I dated a guy once with a really small penis, and I loved having sex with him.
Oh.
I just didn't think about it. It's not as huge of a deal as rap would suggest. He might have this huge dick, but like not be able to hold a conversation. And again, she's chosen to be with you and your teeny weeny over him because she loves you. If you show that you're allowed to be a little insecure and it's like a little cute for a second, but if you hound her about that, like I had a boyfriend who was a psychopath. If you're listening to this and you know it's you, you're a fucking psychopath. Dude,
you think he's listening?
He had like an small to average penis, and he brought it up all the time. And like, honestly, like I had never really thought about it.
Yeah.
Like it was fine. Like I didn't care. And he brought it up all the time, and he was so insecure about it. And it was gross.
Like overcompensating, bringing it up, or bringing it up like, you guys,
Like
I just have
complaining
this small
about
to
it.
average.
And I was just like, I never really. It's like with a lot of insecurities, like the things that you harp on and notice the most. Like, yes, if you have a micropene, but for the most part, women are not walking around like, I just get railed by fucking thick ass pythons all day. Like, whatever. It's fine. I'm sure your penis is fine. And again, she's with you. So go wrap it in duct tape, make it thicker if you need to. Whatever dudes do.
Just work on your moves, buddy.
For real, work
Yeah.
on your moves.
You know what? Work on your listening skills, and you'll just excel.
Yeah, you'll excel at having a lot of female friends.
Totally.
And not getting laid. No. But that's the other thing. And this is not you, sir. This whole incel movement of guys who are like, oh, girls don't want to fuck me, so I'm going to shoot up a school. I'm so mad. What happened to the American dream of like growing something? You have to compensate for other things in other areas. So if you don't have a big dick, work out. If you don't have a great body, be funny. If you're not funny, be smart. Educate yourself. Be good at something. There are women out there that will take you for you. You don't have to be this perfect jock. You don't have to be Gordon Gekko. Go just be good at one thing. Just focus on the thing that makes you happy, and people will be attracted to that. Men love to be like, women only care about money and looks. And it's like, but what about all the dudes who don't have that still have like families and are cool?
Yeah.
Go be responsible for being the best you that you can be, and that attracts people. That's my advice to men. Don't get angry that women are attracted to big guys. That's just like you're attracted to big tits. Like, this is our biology. But there are people out there, millions of people that will like you for you. If you could just put the gun down and stop hating women. Again, this is not to the person who wrote in.
No.
Personal responsibility is a huge thing.
Oh boy, are you on to top of the comp?
Is that it? Is that the thing? Fine. Don't get too pumped. It's the top of the cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
Okay, my top of the cob. Scott, Emily, have you seen Us?
No, not yet.
Yes.
My mom was like, your aunt and I love that. And I was like, not This Is Us.
You know what I did, though? I read the spoiler.
Oh, okay. Well, if you didn't see the movie, you'll see it, and this doesn't spoil it. My top of the cob is that I can do a perfect red Lupita Nyong'o voice. Ready? Listen. People who have seen it are loving this, and people who haven't seen it are like, why am I listening to this dead person? Ready? She's not dead in the movie. Once there was.
No.
I am acting in the middle of an audition. I'll read the Snapchat email. We detected unusual activity with your account. To verify your identity, please respond with your 6-digit Snapchat code ASAP.
All right, thanks. So we'll call you if we need you. Thank you.
You know, if you need me for a white Lupita Nyong'o stunt double for Us Part 2,
That was very upsetting.
listen.
We much prefer your South African reads.
Sneak cheat. That was good, though.
It was really good. It
Yeah.
was very upsetting.
Yeah, suck my ass dick. That's my top of the cob. Beat that.
I like when I get somewhere like 5 minutes early, but not too early. Because if you get there too early, you just got to sit in your car.
Yeah.
I sit in my car outside a lot of places, but I also don't want to get there right at the time. Like I want
sad.
to be like walk up right a minute early.
Yeah, gotta be early.
But I always, in LA, you got to give yourself extra time driving anywhere because you don't know what horrors you'll
Gotta be
come
honest.
upon.
We're always on time. The people who are late make a choice to be late.
We're always on time because we always map it and assess. And I always, like, if it says 21 minutes, I'm like, okay, we'll leave 30 minutes early.
Like, people are like, I'm always late. Like, you don't respect anyone.
It makes me so mad.
It's such a shitty quality.
Especially in LA, if you've been here for more than a year and you're like, traffic. It's like, well, yes, occasionally there are
give or
those
take.
apocalyptic traffic things
Every
that
day.
happen.
Every day.
But if you're saying, oh, there's so much traffic at like 5 p.m., yeah, as there is every day.
Okay, here's my bottom of the cob.
Okay.
This nihilistic argument about plastic, whenever I post something, people are like, oh, first of all, Asia's the one doing the dumping, which they are, for sure. But the idea that because other countries are more responsible for pollution means that we should just keep using plastic like it doesn't do anything is so stupid. When America sneezes, the world catches a cold. So why not make these small changes that are overwhelmingly better for the environment? Well, who cares? Well, you used a plastic bottle yesterday. It's just, I'm like, what is the point of your argument? I'm doing something good, and you're just checking out my page upset because I'm not super conservative, and you just want to tear me down. I hate people like that. Your argument your argument against me trying is sad. And that bothers me. People, like, it's useless what you're saying. Well, so what? So you use a plastic cup. There's so much plastic in your home already. I'm like, yeah. Every piece of plastic ever invented is still in existence today. But what if we just stopped making it and we used less of it? Mm-hmm. What is the harm? Why bother arguing with me? Because you're a piece of shit. That's what it is. And you hate that women are speaking. That's it. That's what it comes down to. And I'm not going to fuck you. That's what it comes down to.
My bottom of the cob is that in America, we can't be trusted with Kinder eggs because we might choke on them.
Yeah.
So if you get one here, it has one half with a toy and one half with a goo, and you got to eat the goo, and it's not an egg, and it's not fair.
Eat that goo. How about you're a grown woman eating a Kinder egg?
They have them at the register of many stores.
What stores?
CVS.
Everything in this country that's difficult, like all of our safety regulations and everything, are honestly just in place so no one gets sued. It's not about saving people. It's Kinder Egg doesn't want to get sued.
Some kid eats a piece of plastic.
Yeah, any red tape or anything. The reason things come in plastic, wrapped in plastic, is because people don't want to get sued because you got sick. Because nobody takes personal responsibility for anything in this country, and everything's like, how can I get a payout? It's just we've just bred these generations of just entitled, lazy blobs. Mm-hmm. So, but I agree. It should just if that kid can't handle swallowing a toy truck. Scott, you want to contribute one? No, he
For
didn't.
bottom?
Sure.
When people park slightly crooked, you don't get parallel in those lines. It's so shitty. I will tell people in a grocery store parking lot, like, you got to do better.
Got to be better.
You got to do better than that.
Well, are they in all their lines?
Are they responding
I don't care even if you're technically in the lines, but it has an effect it has a downstream effect. What you got to do, you can do better.
You got to straighten it out.
Lady, back that thing up a little bit.
What you
straighten her out.
Don't know is that if she's parking in response to someone else who would park that way, and then she's the only car left, and it looks like she's a bad person.
Possibly.
That would be my lot in life. I'm like, I live Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Certainly. But you know what you do? You get right in there and you crawl out your trunk if you need to.
I have done that.
Do better.
I mean, yeah. I can't believe when people just fling their door all the way open on the street.
Without looking?
When they're parked, because I crawl out of my car every time I get out of it.
Well, you're a very considerate person.
Thank you.
My husband's a very considerate person. I am considerate, but I also believe rules don't apply to me.
Correct.
Thanks for listening.